Hi, I'm Dave Sidden, Executive Director of Wildlife Images. On this episode of Into the Wild, we're working with a pharuginus hawk. Pharuginus hawks are seldom seen in this area because typically they're found more in eastern Oregon, the open plains areas. They have a hunting technique that really stresses open meadows, open fields. They're designed quite a bit like a red-tailed hawk, which is fairly common in this area. They're a member of a family called buteos, and buteo means broad wing. So they have long, broad wings. They're capable of soaring for hours on end, watching for prey to walk out below them. And then they go into a dive and use their feet or talons to grasp their prey. Typically for a bird like this, it would be ground squirrels, jackrabbits, cottontail rabbits, marmots, gophers, ground squirrel snakes, things like that. They're actually almost designed like a small eagle, a very robust body, very strong talons. For the size of this bird, their feet are fairly small compared to a red-tailed hawk, but they're extremely powerful. One of the other unique features on the pharuginus hawk, they have a very broad mouth. We're not sure exactly what adaptation that is for, but they have a very broad mouth compared to a red-tailed hawk of the same size. Typically, a pharuginus hawk, when they come into us, comes in because of gunshot wounds. They do fly, like I said, in very long, lazy circles looking for their prey, and they become a target of opportunity. People that don't understand the birds, don't really have the thought process going on to preserve these guys, will go out and shoot them, and they'll often come in with bad injuries to the wings. We'll do what we can to patch them together and get them back out in the wild, but sometimes, like this particular bird, Sage, they're not able to go back out in the wild and become an ambassador for the rest of their natural life in a facility like Wildlife Images. We treat probably close to 1,000 different raptors every year that come into us with injuries of one sort or another, typically human related. So it's very important to realize that these birds, not only are they federally and state protected, which should keep in mind we should take care of them, but they're a very important part of our environment. Oh, that's good. That's a sign that they're comfortable. When they roust like that, that means they're comfortable. They're just getting their feathers all aligned. But these birds in the wild, of course, consume animals that are pests, and they're a very good pest control. When they're out there getting jackrabbits and cottontail rabbits, they're helping the farmers, they're helping the ranchers, and unfortunately, a lot of people just don't understand that and haven't been good stewards of their environment. And we'd like to encourage you, if you see nest sites for birds like pharuginus hawks, red-tailed hawks, owls, leave the trees there, preserve some environment for these guys. They'll be out there combing your fields, keeping your environment very healthy for years to come. And of course, they are migratory. So quite often when you're traveling along I-5, which goes through our area, you'll see pharuginus hawks, red-tailed hawks, all sorts of different raptors along the fence posts or along the telephone lines around there, because that is, I-5 goes right through their migratory flight path. And you're very lucky around fall and spring because you can see hundreds of birds on a simple trip just to Redding or Northern California that way. So keep in mind when you're on the road too, they'll often fly across the highways after their prey. So watch out for these guys. Don't be afraid to apply the brakes if you can save a bird like this from a disaster with your automobile. Now, if you'd like more information about pharuginus hawks or any of the birds or animals at Wildlife Images, you can go to our Wildlife Images website at wildlifeimages.org, and right there it'll tell you how to approach the animals if you find an injured one. It'll tell you how to donate services or materials or money that'll help these birds, and most important of all, how to become a member. We're going to be doing a membership drive because membership is one of the ways we'll help sustain ourselves. We do not get any support from federal or state authorities one way or another, so it all comes from individuals. And you, the public, own these birds. They are property of the state of Oregon. So make sure we all do our share to preserve their future. Well, that'll wrap up this episode of Into the Wild. Again, if you'd like more information, feel free to log on to the Wildlife Images website. You can get all the information from there. Don't worry, nobody's going after you.